I stand here, surrounded by the whispers of ancient trees, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath my feet. The sun filters through the canopy above, casting dappled patterns of light and shadow that dance with each gentle breeze. Have you ever paused to truly listen to the world around you, to feel the heartbeat of nature sync with your own?
In moments like these, we begin to realize that the barriers we've constructed, between ourselves and others, between humanity and nature, are illusions. As I walk deeper into the forest, each step seems to peel away a layer of the defenses I've built over the years. The weight of expectations, judgments, and fears begins to lighten. I can almost hear the trees exhaling, as if relieved that I've finally decided to join them in the present moment.
It's here that the journey to awaken unconditional love begins. Not in some distant place or after achieving some lofty goal, but right here, right now, within ourselves. We often talk about love as something to be found or earned. But what if love is our natural state? What if it's not about acquiring love, but removing the obstacles we've placed in its path? Consider this. When you were a child, did you question whether you deserved love? Or did you simply exist, open-hearted and trusting, until the world taught you otherwise?
Sitting by a tranquil stream, I watch as the water flows effortlessly around stones and fallen branches. It doesn't resist. It doesn't judge obstacles as good or bad. It simply adapts and continues on its journey. There's a profound lesson in that. How often do we allow the stones of resentment, jealousy, or fear to dam the flow of love within us? What would happen if we chose to navigate around them, acknowledging their presence but not allowing them to halt our progress? I close my eyes and take a deep breath, inhaling the rich scent of earth and leaves. I can feel the interconnectedness of all things, the way the roots of trees intertwine beneath the soil, the symbiotic relationships between plants and animals, the delicate balance that sustains life. In this web of existence, love is the thread that weaves everything together.
But awakening unconditional love isn't just about feeling connected in moments of peace. It's about maintaining that connection when faced with life's challenges. Think about a time when someone hurt you. The instinct might be to close off, to protect yourself by building walls. Yet those very walls not only keep others out but also imprison us within our own pain.
What if instead we chose forgiveness, not for their sake, but for ours, to free ourselves from the burden of carrying that hurt?
As I reflect on my own experiences, I realize that every person who has entered my life has been a teacher. Some have taught me kindness and compassion. Others have shown me where I still harbor darkness within myself. Each interaction is an opportunity to practice love without conditions, to see beyond actions and into the heart of another being who, like me, is navigating the complexities of existence. Opening my eyes, I notice a deer standing at the edge of the clearing, watching me with gentle curiosity. There's no fear, no aggression, just a mutual respect for the shared space we occupy. In that silent exchange, I understand that love doesn't need words or grand gestures. It's in the simple acknowledgement of another's presence, the recognition that we are all part of something greater than ourselves. But let's delve deeper. How do we cultivate this unconditional love in a world that often seems determined to divide us?
It starts with self-love. We cannot pour from an empty cup, nor can we offer to others what we withhold from ourselves. Take a moment to consider. Do you treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you offer to a friend? Or do you judge yourself harshly, setting impossible standards and then berating yourself when you fall short? I invite you to practice compassion towards yourself. Acknowledge your flaws and mistakes not as failures, but as lessons, stepping stones on the path of personal growth. When we accept ourselves wholly, we create the internal harmony necessary to extend genuine love to others. As the day turns to dusk, the sky is painted with hues of pink and orange. The forest comes alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures beginning their nightly routines. I feel a profound sense of peace, but also a stirring excitement for what lies ahead. This journey to awaken unconditional love is not a destination, but a continual process of opening, learning, and expanding.
Before I leave this sanctuary, I ponder one final question. What impact could we have on the world if each of us committed to living with an open heart? Imagine the ripple effect of our actions, the way a single act of kindness can inspire others, creating a chain reaction that transcends borders and cultures. The path forward is both simple and profound. To love without expectation, to give without the need for recognition, and to see ourselves in others. It's a journey that requires courage and vulnerability, but the rewards are immeasurable. As night envelops the forest, the stars emerge one by one, each a tiny beacon of light in the vast expanse of the universe. I lie down on the soft bed of moss, gazing upwards, and feel an overwhelming sense of both insignificance and connection. How small we are in the grand scheme of things, yet how profound our impact can be. The boundaries that we perceive between ourselves and others, between the physical and the spiritual, are but thin veils awaiting our discovery. I recall a time when I felt isolated, cut off from the world by my own fears and insecurities. It's a common experience, isn't it? We build walls to protect ourselves from hurt, not realizing that those same walls keep out the love and connection we deeply crave. But what if we could transcend these self-imposed limitations? What if the key to unlocking unconditional love lies in dissolving the very notion of a separate self?
Sitting up, I feel the cool night air on my skin and close my eyes, turning my gaze inward. Meditation has been a powerful tool on this journey, a way to quiet the mind and listen to the whispers of the soul. In the stillness, I begin to sense a boundless presence, an essence that is both within me and beyond me. It's as if the boundaries of my physical form start to blur, merging with the energy that permeates all things. Have you ever experienced a moment when time seems to stand still and you feel completely at one with everything around you? These glimpses of unity are not mere coincidences. They are windows into our true nature. The ego tells us that we are separate, that we must compete and compare, but the soul knows otherwise. It knows that at the deepest level, we are all expressions of the same divine consciousness. As I delve deeper into this meditation, memories surface, some joyful, others painful. I see faces of people who have been part of my life, each interaction leaving an imprint on my heart. I realize that every relationship, whether harmonious or challenging, has been a catalyst for growth. The difficult ones especially have taught me compassion, patience, and forgiveness. But forgiveness can be a complex process. It's not about condoning harmful actions or pretending that pain doesn't exist. Rather, it's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment that bind us to the past. By holding on to anger, we drink poison, hoping the other person will suffer. But in reality, we are the ones who are harmed. Can we find it within ourselves to release this burden? To acknowledge the hurt, learn from it, and let it go. Emerging from my meditation, I feel lighter, as if a weight has been lifted. The sounds of the night are more vibrant, the rustling leaves, the distant call of an owl, the gentle flow of the stream. I am reminded that life is a continuous flow, ever changing and evolving. Clinging to the past or worrying about the future only hinders our ability to be fully present.
The concept of non-attachment is often misunderstood. It's not about being indifferent or uncaring, it's about embracing life fully without being enslaved by our desires or fears. When we practice non-attachment, we allow love to flow freely, unimpeded by expectations or conditions. We begin to appreciate people and experiences for what they are, not for what we want them to be. I stand up and start walking, feeling guided by an inner compass. The path is illuminated by the soft glow of moonlight, and each step feels purposeful. I think about the role of intention in our lives. What motivates our actions? Is it the pursuit of personal gain, or is it the desire to contribute to something greater than ourselves? Setting intentions aligned with love and compassion can transform not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Imagine waking up each day with the resolve to be a source of positivity, to uplift others, and to act with integrity. How might that shift our interactions and the energy we bring into the world? As I continue my journey, I come across a clearing where a small group of people are gathered around a fire. Their faces are illuminated by the flickering flames, and there's a palpable sense of camaraderie. They invite me to join them, and I accept, grateful for the warmth and company. We share stories, some personal, others passed down through generations. There's laughter and moments of quiet reflection. Despite our different backgrounds and experiences, there's a common thread that unites us: the innate human desire for connection and understanding. One of them asks, "What do you think is the most important lesson in life?" It's a profound question, and I take a moment to consider it. To love unconditionally, I reply, to see ourselves in others and to recognize that we are all part of the same tapestry.
Another person chimes in, "But isn't it hard to love unconditionally when people can be so hurtful?" It's a valid point, and I acknowledge the challenge. Yes, it can be difficult, but perhaps the key is empathy. When we understand that hurt people, we can begin to see beyond their actions to the pain that drives them. This doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it allows us to respond with compassion rather than judgment.
Our conversation continues late into the night, touching on topics of purpose, destiny, and the nature of reality. There's a sense that we are not just exchanging words but engaging in a collective exploration of the soul. Moments like these reinforce the idea that awakening unconditional love is not a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey. Before parting ways, we agree to carry the insights gained from this encounter back into our daily lives. It's one thing to experience connection in a supportive environment, but the true test lies in maintaining that openness amidst the complexities of the world. As dawn approaches, I find myself back at the edge of the forest where civilization meets wilderness. The first light of day casts a golden hue over everything, symbolizing new beginnings. I feel a renewed sense of purpose, to integrate the lessons learned and to be a living example of unconditional love. Returning to everyday life, I notice subtle shifts in my interactions. I'm more patient with the cashier who's having a rough day, more attentive to a friend's unspoken needs, more willing to offer a helping hand without expecting anything in return. These small acts may seem insignificant, but collectively, they contribute to a more compassionate world. But the journey is not without setbacks. There are moments when old patterns resurface: impatience, irritation, judgment. In those times, I remind myself that progress is not linear. Growth comes with challenges, and each stumble is an opportunity to realign with my intentions.
I pose a question to you. What practices can we adopt to stay grounded in unconditional love, even when faced with adversity? Perhaps it's daily meditation, journaling, acts of service, or simply taking a moment to breathe deeply and reset our perspective. Each of us can find methods that resonate with our unique paths. One day, while volunteering at a local community center, I meet a woman who shares her story of overcoming tremendous hardship. Despite her struggles, she exudes a warmth and generosity that inspire everyone around her. I ask her how she maintains such a positive outlook. She smiles and says, "I focus on what I can give rather than what I lack." When you open your heart to others, you realize that love is infinite. Her words resonate deeply. Love is not a finite resource to be hoarded or rationed. It's an endless wellspring that grows the more we draw from it. By shifting our focus from scarcity to abundance, we unlock the potential to make a meaningful difference. Reflecting on this, I consider the collective impact if more people embrace this mindset. How might our communities transform if we prioritized empathy over competition, collaboration over division? The ripple effects could be extraordinary. As the sun sets once again, I find myself atop a hill overlooking the city. The lights below shimmer like stars fallen to earth. There's a sense of harmony in this juxtaposition of nature and human creation. I feel gratitude for the journey so far and excitement for what lies ahead. Unconditional love is not an abstract concept reserved for saints and mystics. It's a tangible force accessible to each of us. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to look beyond the surface. It asks us to confront our own shadows and to extend grace to ourselves and others. I leave you with this thought. In a world that often emphasizes differences and sows seeds of division, choosing to love unconditionally is a radical act of courage. It's a statement that we believe in the inherent goodness of humanity and are committed to nurturing it. The horizon blushes with the first hues of dawn as I stand at the threshold of a new day. There's a palpable stillness in the air, a momentary pause where anything seems possible. I take a deep breath, feeling the crisp morning air fill my lungs, and in that instant, I realize that every breath is a gift, a subtle reminder of the life force that sustains us all. Have you ever considered how this simple act connects us to every living being? The air we inhale is the same that has circled the globe, touched the highest mountains, and flowed through countless forms of life. As the sun begins its ascent, casting a golden glow over the landscape, I am reminded of the infinite nature of existence. The cycles of day and night, the changing seasons, the ebb and flow of tides, all echo the endless rhythms of the universe.
In embracing this infinitude, we start to understand that love, too, is boundless. It is not confined by time or space. It transcends our physical forms and extends into the very fabric of reality. But how do we embody this infinite love in our daily lives? How do we move from understanding it intellectually to living it experientially? The journey requires us to shift our perception, to see ourselves not as separate entities navigating a foreign world, but as integral threads in the cosmic tapestry. I recall an encounter with an elderly man I met during my travels, a sage who had spent decades studying the philosophies of various cultures. He told me, "The greatest illusion is the belief in separation. Once you dissolve that, all that remains is love." His words struck a chord deep within me. If separation is an illusion, then unity is our reality. But recognizing this unity demands that we peel away layers of conditioning that have shaped our understanding of ourselves and the world. I invite you to reflect on your own beliefs. What stories have you been told about who you are and what you're capable of? How many of these narratives have limited your ability to love fully and fearlessly? Perhaps it's time to rewrite them. One practice that has helped me is the cultivation of mindfulness, not just in meditation, but in every action, thought, and interaction. By being fully present, we open ourselves to the richness of each moment. We begin to notice the subtleties, the way a smile can brighten someone's day, the comfort in a friend's voice, the silent support of nature surrounding us. In this heightened state of awareness, we start to see signs and synchronicities that guide us towards our highest selves. Have you ever experienced moments where everything seems to align perfectly, as if orchestrated by an unseen force? These are not mere coincidences, but affirmations that we are on the right path. that we are in harmony with the universal flow.
As I delve deeper into this exploration, I realize that living as love incarnate means embracing vulnerability. It requires us to open our hearts fully, even when there's a risk of pain or rejection. It's about showing up authentically, without masks or pretenses, and allowing others to see us as we truly are. This can be daunting. Society often teaches us to hide our true selves, to conform to expectations, and to suppress emotions deemed unacceptable. But in doing so, we stifle the very essence of who we are. What if instead we chose to honor our feelings, joy, sorrow, anger, love, and view them as facets of our human experience? By accepting ourselves wholly, we create space for genuine connection. I remember a time when I faced a significant loss. The grief was overwhelming, and my instinct was to withdraw, to shield myself from further hurt. But a close friend reached out, simply offering to sit with me in silence. There were no attempts to fix or minimize my pain, just a presence that said, "I am here with you." In that moment, I understood the power of compassionate companionship. It wasn't about erasing the pain, but about sharing it, lightening the load through mutual empathy. This experience taught me that love is not always grand gestures. Often it's found in the small acts of kindness that we extend to one another. It's in listening without judgment, offering a helping hand, or simply acknowledging another's existence. These moments weave together to create a life lived in love. But living as love incarnate also extends beyond interpersonal relationships.
It encompasses our relationship with the earth and all its inhabitants. The environmental challenges we face today are, in many ways, a reflection of our disconnection from the natural world. By realigning ourselves with nature, we not only heal the planet but also ourselves. Consider adopting practices that honor the earth. Whether it's reducing waste, supporting sustainable initiatives, or simply spending time in nature to appreciate its beauty and complexity. When we act as stewards of the planet, we demonstrate love in its purest form, unconditional, selfless, and expansive. Furthermore, embracing the infinite means recognizing the potential within each of us to affect change. It's easy to feel insignificant in the face of global issues, but remember that every movement begins with a single step, every revolution with a single voice. By living authentically and lovingly, we inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can transform communities. I challenge you to consider, what unique gifts do you possess that can contribute to the greater good? Perhaps it's your creativity, your ability to bring people together, or your skill in problem solving. Whatever it is, know that it holds value. By sharing our talents, we enrich the collective experience and move closer to a world defined by unity and compassion. As the day progresses, I find myself in a bustling city square. The contrast from the serene natural settings is striking, yet there's a vibrancy here that's equally captivating. People from all walks of life converge, each with their own stories, dreams, and challenges. I watch as strangers interact, some with hurried indifference, others with genuine warmth.
In the midst of the crowd, a street musician plays a soulful melody. The notes cut through the noise, drawing the attention of passers-by. Some stop to listen, momentarily pausing their busy lives to share in this collective experience. It's a reminder that art, in all its forms, has the power to connect us, to transcend language, culture, and circumstance. I approached the musician afterward, thanking him for the beautiful performance. He smiles and says, "Music is my way of sharing love with the world." His words resonate deeply. We all have our own mediums through which we can express love, be it art, words, actions, or simply our presence. Returning home that evening, I contemplate the day's events. The threads of connection are everywhere if we choose to see them. From the sunrise that greeted me to the music that stirred my soul, each moment offers an opportunity to embrace love. But the journey doesn't end here. Embracing the infinite is an ongoing practice, a daily commitment to live with an open heart and an open mind. It involves continuous self-reflection, a willingness to learn, and the courage to act in alignment with our highest values. In moments of doubt or hardship, we can draw strength from the understanding that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. The universe, in all its vastness, is not indifferent, but intrinsically connected. By tuning into this interconnectedness, we tap into an endless source of love and wisdom.
I encourage you to establish rituals that reinforce this connection. Perhaps it's a morning meditation, journaling your intentions, or simply expressing gratitude for the blessings in your life. These practices ground us and serve as reminders of our commitment to live as embodiments of love. As I conclude this chapter of the journey, I leave you with a vision, a world where love is the guiding principle, where decisions are made not out of fear or self-interest, but from a place of compassion and unity. It's an ambitious vision, but one that becomes attainable when each of us chooses to play our part. So I ask you, are you willing to embrace the infinite? To live as love incarnate, not just in thought, but in action? The path may not always be easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. Together, we can create a reality that reflects the highest potentials of humanity. The night sky unfurls above me, stars twinkling like countless possibilities. I feel a profound peace, knowing that while this journey is personal, it is also shared. We are all travelers on this path toward love and enlightenment, each contributing our unique light to the collective brilliance. In the silence, a thought emerges, a gentle whisper from the depths of my being. Love is not something we seek, it is what we are. By embracing this truth, we unlock the doors to infinite possibilities, transforming ourselves and, in turn, the world around us. Epilogue. The journey continues. Our exploration of awakening unconditional love is but a stepping stone on an endless path. Each insight gained, each connection made, propels us forward into greater understanding and deeper compassion. The journey is continuous, ever evolving, just as we are. May you carry the essence of this journey within you, allowing it to guide your steps and illuminate your path. Remember, the power to create a world defined by love rests within each of us. The question now is, what will you choose to do with that power?